So basically, we carried out the Ri3D elevator, and here it is, with all the dimensions working. So the entire height of this is under 30 inches, as you can tell. And basically what would happen is this is the active hook, and these two are the passive hooks. And what you do is you drive up, you latch onto the bar, you bring this down. One second. So once you latch onto the bar, you bring this down. And these two passive hooks would be spring hooks. So they would just kind of buckle down and then be attached to the bar. And then from there you can repeat the process. Go up to the third bar, bring it down, so on.
Yeah, and I guess one thing to think about is we did make it a little bit thinner, so we got a little bit more space in the robot. That's going to reach it out a little bit.
Yeah, and we also mentioned before, to prevent tipping this way, when we're climbing, we're going to have the robot climb up the side of the tower, so that at least the bumper will be resting up against this.
Sorry. No more.
We're resting up against that vertical bar right there. Right there.
Yeah. Except more center.
Yeah.
Can you turn the robot like around and see other things?
Yeah.
One catch.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're so hard.
Oh, that's
Wait, are you saying it's gonna rest on you like with the brakes if it doesn't tip?
Oh, make sure it's good.
Then how would
teams are going to
grab
grab with bumpers here. This is such an easy game.
What?
It's like the easiest game in
With
years.
the-
I looked at the kit bot.
Yeah, if we have
You probably have seen it. But the kit bot's actually like really
Will it be
good.
able
It's
to
a good
go
deal.
like my team is
I'm so.
It's really fun.
Are you saying that the bumpers would be out too far? So
Yeah,
it wouldn't reach it?
so cars will reach it if it's uprights. Would it be okay with it just like swinging?
Well, we'd have to get to the turn.
Yeah. Also, something we could consider is just moving this even further back, all the way to the edge of the robot, and then like the spring-loaded hooks we could like keep in, and then once the robot game starts, we like push them out so they can reach the bars.
I guess just one concern, in terms of like using that bar, it does look a little thin on like the edge you guys chose. I'm wondering if like when climbing, also like based off center of gravity and how the driver like pulls up to the actual climber, like if the drag is going to start turning side to side as well. But I guess that depends on how well the hooks hold on to the bar, which doesn't happen. And also like with the bumper, would you be worried, like I feel like the bumper might start getting damaged, or like it might start catching on to the actual like post. Like have you considered something that like maybe as the elevator goes up, like something falls down and it's like a little guide that like maybe a wheel or like something that can roll up the side as well?
Yeah, like we could do like a dead axle tree wheel.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's just
I mean, like I think damaging the bumpers, alright. Like having a little bit of like scrape them
but also like prevents resistance to the climb. Like
Well, I don't think fabric is really that big of an issue.
I could see numbers getting rubbed off from like climbing against the bar, but I don't know that climbing against the bar would provide other like significant resistance.
I don't want like just like not damaging like the bumpers to like dictate how like
Wait.
wait.
Actually, also, if you're climbing against the bumpers on the, how are you getting to touch the bar in the first
Yeah,
place?
That's why.
Yeah,
That's why I
so
said.
Ah,
Are
sorry.
you like
we talked about pushing the whole mechanism a little further back on the robot and having these extend out a little further to at least like the edge of the bumpers, so that.
But you have to start within frame perimeter completely.
We could have them like spring loaded in, and then once the game starts, we can unload them.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
just something like as the elevator moves up, it just like comes out? Because I feel like we were only using the elevator to climb anyways, right? It's like
I feel like we could do that too. I think it could also just be really simple to just have like some kind of servo, just like let go of some rope and just like lets it.
We don't have any servers. That's
Oh,
yeah.
Or having some kind of like, I don't know if like having some kind of like, if they're spring loaded down, having some kind of plate that they're against at the start of the match and then they just go up and spring out.
Yeah, my thing was done in years past where it was the elevator was loaded down, like there's something holding it, and as soon as it popped up, snap. That's how we did our like vacuum funnel last year. It was
And
loaded
that
first
could, that might,
But
that would give us a hard stop going down where we couldn't go any lower than that.
that was
And
screwed.
the spring hooks would need to be the same amount of outside, or like the passive hooks would need to be the same amount of extension as the active hooks.
Yeah. It would
and
screw
those would
up
also need
the
to-
extending in two directions though.
Yeah.
Because you would be extending outside the frame perimeter for that.
For the
and-
entire match
and
in the
hands
one
up.
direction and then you couldn't intake.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we
So-
could only undo it at the end, right?
Or like you were saying with the servo, I know we don't have any right now, but like if that was something that we could get.
The climb would have to be retractable if we wanted to climb in autumn, because then we wouldn't be able to intake out of any other side of our robot for the rest of the match.
Yeah, so it would have to be something like a servo. Would be
Yeah.
There's a related question from the audience. How would you unclimb in general? How would you unclimb from L3 at the end of a match?
You don't have to-
You don't need
You don't need to.
Yeah, you just pick it up. Get some really tall
There's
people
a
up
stand
there.
that just locks, so this doesn't fall when it's not match.
Yeah, unclimbing from the L1 at the beginning though.
That's
That we just lower the
that's just
elevator.
Yeah.
lower the or extend the
elevator
elevator,
up.
drive
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, you only need you're only using the first stage, right?
For auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I definitely see this as like very possible. Just a couple.
bumpers.
We can test it out.
Yeah.
Do you guys have plans for like gearboxes and everything? Like how much room do you think this will take up?
I mean, we just cut the tubing size, as far as the width goes, it should, I'll get us a box of parts for the 13 bottom, just make it however we want. This is just one example of what we can output. So we can make it as thin as we really want to. Even less space than this.
Look, candidly, what's the downside? Oh wait, can you like look at the top view?
This is our captain,
Yeah.
folks.
Hopper space.
Number one in school, yeah, right, exactly. Bro, you're gonna get rescinded.
Too far.
I'm telling Trinidad right now.
So basically that entire like segment.
Might as well like nice.
It's like this.
Wait, is there a way to? Sorry, it's a little hard to see still. Can you like zoom in? Jarvis.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all know? Can you
Yes.
edit a the caption or description of a YouTube video after?
I do see that those
Yes.
are
Posting.
marked for eyes. Also, what's the width of that drivetrain?
I think it's 27 by 27, so we're a
Okay.
little longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what's the downside to having as wide as the elevator as possible, especially since like, I guess the wider you are, the more stable you can be. And I mean, it's like not like a inner elevator would help teammates because the width of our base would still be in the way. It's like, do you see any downsides to having the elevator as wide as possible?
The only downside would be just, like, one idea is, what another group brought up is if they wanted more room for their shooter, they could use like the entire back part of the robot where you could have like, let's say your elevator's over here and your shooter mechanisms and like shoot mechanism is all over here. That was just one.
Like, which way would the shooting mechanism be pointing out of? Sorry.
Well, just like,
I think it was this drawing, right?
yeah, it was over there actually. But I don't know, is it reach still?
I don't know, he
I think
like,
it was. Okay, well, basically what he had said is like, just to make more room.
he wanted like the
for
elevator shooter side by side.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. So I'm not saying that's the way to go, but like, yeah, I think it would be a lot easier to just make the width of the robot, but
Also, you're using Mark IV, so we do have more room in each drive.
Yes.
I did mention that.
Because we have the, are these marked 5s or 4C?
1/4C.
Okay.
Where's the second one? Yeah. And then in terms of space it takes up at the bottom, it's like with gearbox and everything, could you see how that looks? Like, do you have Krakens on that? Like,
I think it's Neos.
shoot.
Yeah, but again, this is less wide than what we decided, I think. But yeah, that's a
Okay.
consideration.
I guess in terms of width, you'd also have to consider the size that a Kraken and gearbox would take up as well. Yeah, if you do continue forward, it's just like making sure all of that works out. Like the Kraken side, like, those are pretty big. I wonder how much space they take up, especially like trying with Mark 4Cs. You could import the 1000 square to like see what that more realistically looks like. Yeah, that's just, yeah.
Also, we can, as you mentioned, make this a little bit thinner. But yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll see what benefits this most.
But I guess, are you suggesting that we center it though?
I mean, most
Like
likely.
shitty mechanisms. Like,
I think it also depends on interaction with other med subsystems as well.
It's like, did you see Fatma's example too, where she was like on the side, and it was like not the front or the back, just like a side climb? It was kind of interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's going to be hard to make it stable, well, especially in a couple of days.
I mean, I guess we will find out. But yeah, I guess like next steps would just be putting it in a more realistic environment, like if sort of like that. But any input, actually, I guess we'll go to other teams first for asking input on like chassis size. Yeah. Any other questions?
So what's a question in the chat? Can you guys demo in CAD how the climb works?
It doesn't go up, but
Right.
we don't have motion. It's a little hard.
you can see the bar right there. So you can see the passive and active hook. This is the active hook. You can go all the way up, and if you look from the back, it'll clear this bar, and then you just pull it down. These will be spring loaded, so they'll go down and up, and they'll just latch onto the bar.
So mine's a very specific idea. It's basically just the idea of how we're going to bring the
Like ball, or I guess the fuel or whatever, from the intake to the shooter. Is this thing that you plug it in with?
Yeah, you can plug it in. Wait, there's no eSIM on it though. What the? And then.
Alright, there we go.
So we were looking at specifically this one team in 2020. I'll play their video now. If you look at that, like, that's pretty cool, and it basically is what we were talking about with like a kind of like a conveyor belt but sideways, so then you don't have to fight with gravity. In my opinion, very cool. So I don't like Onshape, so I made a little drawing, like a little CAD drawing, not CAD drawing, like a sketch of it with various dimensions. I think this could still work with like a 25 by 30 if that's what you guys really want to do for like balancing. And basically it's like, you kind of, it's the ball is going through a maze essentially. It goes like, it starts in here, goes all the way around, and then gets lifted up into like the little shooter area, and then boom. And with this, we would be able to fit like, I'd say probably around 8 to 9 balls. And there's a lot of room at the top, or there can be a lot of room at the top for like, I guess, towards that way for the climber or electrical components, stuff like that.
And this can also be like on their robot, it's like multi-level, so you can have like some electrical stuff over here. We can have like there's a lot of room involved. I'm thinking in a little bit, if like this is something that we want to look into, I can make a prototype using cardboard and just have like a little maze for the ball, something like that. But yeah, that's I don't have any. That's just the intake that they had. I was just trying to figure out like how they have it, how it would be done, but I don't know as much about the intake as, or I'm not a fan of the intake as much as I'm a fan of how they have the balls travel. So that's really all I got. Are there any questions?
So with this one, you wouldn't be able to take from the driver's station, right?
What was that?
You wouldn't be able to get from the driver's station?
No, it would be entirely like picking it up from the ground. And these right here would be like maybe wheels. I don't think we need 4. That's just what it looks like they had. And those spin, and there's like a curve here, so it like just goes whee and travels. But like realistically, you don't need 4 wheels. You could probably do fine with just 1, and then like some barriers.
And it'd be shooting out that way?
Yeah, it would go like around and then up and then out. And that would be like a fixed angle thing, because that's what they had, is another fixed angle shooter.
Because the only thing is that if we keep we can move the elevator.
Yeah.
But like, if we have the elevator there, it might hit the.
What do you mean? Wouldn't the elevator go
I mean, we
like
can
here?
orient the shooter whatever way we want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the shooter can go anywhere, honestly. This is just like a hypothetical. It
It
could
could
go,
be-
you
yeah,
can go
yeah, yeah.
sideways.
Another direction.
Because the thing about the whole maze is that you can just make the maze end in a different spot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It also keeps it active. So what I've seen from 2020 is that those ones usually shoot a lot faster compared to hopper fed, which is like more or less gravity, which then takes a bit longer.
Yeah. You had a question?
Yeah, do you have rationale of which direction you want it to shoot? Like if you're picking up from the back, do you want it to shoot from the front or from the same side of the intake?
I mean, I think it would, like, it feels natural that if it's coming, if the ball's coming, like, if you're picking up the ball and it's like here and it makes sense that like it's shooting the other way, so that you don't have to rotate the robot and then shoot. I feel like that would just make sense. Like wherever you're picking up is like if the ball's going in here, you shoot out there as well. Just to make things easier for like drivers. I'm assuming the chat doesn't have any questions.
Do you think of, or is there like any possible way to squeeze more like out of your storage? Like any way to get more than 8 or 9?
I mean, I'm sure. This is just like, I'm underestimating, honestly. I think like minimum 8 at once, which is all we need in auto. It's like minimum 8. I'm sure you could squeeze more. The dimensions I have here are like 8 by 20. Or I guess technically like 17 by 20. But like,
If we truly want more, we can add like a hopper, like on like the other side. Like just have it open so like balls can drop down.
yeah, we could have that, but I think Diego had a question, but. Oh, then, any other questions? Alrighty, well, yeah, that's mostly all I have.
I don't really have a fidelity.
Oh, no, I just had a question.
Oh, which question? The intake is not really what I was focusing on. That was just the intake they had.
I'm just interested in how much of the intake we're going
I can, with how late?
Okay, we'll do that.
I was just thinking about specifically 118 Robonauts from 2017, where they had kind of a through the bumper style intake. I personally am more of a fan of more compact intakes because it leaves you with more space on your robot, and also just like it's, yeah, it can be a little bit more sturdy in if you're pushing around a lot and trying to go over things. This is a continuation on my idea about having an intake that can store things. I think it's viable. I don't think it's necessarily the best strategy, but I think it's interesting, and it's an interesting use of the extension limits. You would, like there's collisions that have to be worked out, but they could be worked out. And the idea is just like you probably put the shooter here, and then this is your intake, and you can store extra balls in here. So that gives you a lot more volume in your robot. Indexing is something you'd have to keep an eye on, of course, but if you have a powerful enough intake, and you can put some kind of indexer here, then you could shoot from there. Yeah, that's mostly my main thought. And the nice thing about an intake like this too is you can just kind of slap it on the outside, and you'd probably just use some kind of like rack and pinion system to retract, or you like solenoids or something. Any questions?
I think the biggest thing is how you would imagine this interfacing with like a funnel mechanism or a hopper, like
Yeah.
how it goes from there. And then like I see the walls are, I mean the robot looks like a big storage device right now, but like where climber and shooter would possibly go.
Yeah, I haven't put those on yet, but I would imagine that you would put, well, I imagine you put shooter in the back, and you could probably put climber on the side or on the back, depending on which one works better for packaging. The nice thing about this is it's basically just the same idea. If you have a hopper, and then you could figure out where to put the shooter and the climber from there. Like it doesn't change that much about the layout overall. It's really mostly just the intake idea. In terms of indexing, something nice about this is you can actually make these centering passively, especially this rod here, which can help you with indexing and funneling into the robot. You can use like mechanisms.
I think more so like, because it is sliding out, like if that'll create a gap.
Yeah, you can only go to 12 inches beyond your frame rate.
Yeah, what have other teams done to, because like it is creating a gap, right? Like what's filled in that void.
Wait, what gap, like here?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I left a gap there because.
But I mean, because like it'll happen when the intake comes out, right? But like.
Yeah. Yeah, I left the gap there because you could. I mean, you could have bumpers there, you could not. But I mean, if your geometry is fine and your roller is strong enough, it wouldn't be a problem really.
Wait, but we can't have the bottom roller.
Wait, I know, you'd have to deal with the collision here, but I'm pretty sure there's a way around it. You just have to like geometry it a little bit. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best idea, I'm saying it's a possible idea, but.
I think William is laser filming, but I can show the idea of the robot.
Yeah, for sure.
Is your computer?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think it's on the, like 1,000.
Sketch. Oh.
Well, that's not working.
I can just use the triplet. I think it's.
Oh, this one. Oh, awesome. Yeah. And then is it connected? Good. Oh, so that's it. It's not hot today.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's, wait, hold on, let me turn off the. Oops. Sorry, it's all yellow.
Yeah, so just simplified sketch version of the idea that we were talking about previously. But over the bumper intake, suck in, then larger storage to where this is just like, this can be shifted over here to function for the elevator over here. So we can get a lot more, but I was just like trying to avoid the storage modules, but really could just go on top. We can work it out to where we can get the most like actual volume out of the storage. But even with just the first level, we can already get about 7. But then we have like a layer to it, to where since it's not all active, like you have to be touching all of them at one time, you can just stack it as high as possible. So in that, if we go as close to 22 inches as possible, we can get we can get at least 2 layers. So you can get probably around like 15 there stored. And then of course back here we have the mechanical wheels funneled into the one direct wheel to funnel everything into the shooter. And what we were talking about before about everything being connected to one motor to power, we can just scrap that and make this all where we can load up, then intake and shoot all at once instead of having that weird thing about passively feeding. But yeah, so this has a lot of storage potential, I think. And then we can also still take in from the driver station. So that was what we were talking about earlier about the worst case scenario, or like the backup to where if we really do need to multiple ways to intake, we can do that. Plus, in the unfortunate situation that you're like going straight out auto scoring, you can actually get over there fast and get your points. If you didn't have those, you'd have to go to the center, back, then score, lose time. We really could get another extra cycle out of that. And then elevator space. Use all of this will still be the side. So use the entire right or left side of the robot for that. And put the battery on the side of the elevator to get all the way centered or close to that point. So no weird torque problems. Or just for the sake of things being asked me. That's about it, I think. And it's still using the same like intake as yours, but twice. One for getting everything, or not even twice. Getting everything in there is just like simple straight roller, but it's using it once in the back for the indexing. So it'd be similar in the way of like getting everything at once, but it's just consolidating everything into the storage. Yes.
This is a minor, are you done with this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is a minor thing, but I can foresee a situation, at least with the way you have the wheel set up. I can foresee a situation where like there's a ball here and like the ball here is like trying to go in, but it like jams.
Yeah, that's all geometry stuff that can be worked out.
Yeah, I think an easy solution might be just like not have powered wheels in this area and instead only have them here to like prevent like this ball from jamming this ball.
Yeah, we can separate these more to where it's just mechanical here and then, or just work with mechanical wheels and all the things that are funneling over there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think there's ways to work around it. And I'm sure there's plenty of examples too. Any other thoughts?
This is kind of unrelated, but I just noticed, do we have anyone working on a shooter design?
That's what Liam's working on.
Oh, okay.
Liam's working on prototyping for the compression and all that
Okay.
stuff.
And then, is that intake part of the demonstration as well? I see like some roller out there.
Oh yeah, that would be the over the bumper.
Oh, okay.
That's just like a simple mock-up just to like say that exists.
Okay.
And plus you could, of course you only load 8 during the match, so you can have all that, but this can function as just extra space while for the time being. So we could add at least like 3 more over there.
Right.
And then layers on layers of walls.
Would that be flat or would that be angled? Like,
Whatever we decide is best, but it could do either.
okay.
Probably flat, or sorry, probably a little bit
But
angled.
it should be a little bit angled.
Yeah.
Something like.
And we can angle it more towards, to like lean towards
Yeah.
the corner itself, so we can get more. I just think for max event, But if we do similar thing, like the exact like intake, but inside the robot, I think we can get just as much speed, especially if we angle more aggressively, so we can get more sucked in. Plus these will, the thing on both sides will kind of wheel, we can get more like frequent contacts to where I think it's a simple thing to figure out, just trade-offs. But
Really quick, does anybody want ice cream instead of Molson? So, speak now or forever hold your peace.
wait, what kind of ice cream?
Snickers, these are so
Yes,
good.
please. I'll take one of them.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll walk back.
Yeah, I'm wondering, does anyone else have a hopper, like, what's it called? Whatever it takes to shoot.
The indexing.
I
Yeah, index.
was one from, what was it called? Was it Upper Creek? I don't know. In 2017, they had a index there. And then they had the shooter on the side, and it like fed in.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
But the problem again with having like a defined indexer is
Anybody else?
you're limiting
Your space.
your space.
Sorry, slightly random, but ice cream break.
Yeah. I think those defined indexers do a lot better in games where you have more limitations on carrying. Like for like rapid react.
Yes.
Yeah, like for rapid react indexers are good for like there's a limitation in like 2020, 2021 on all that. But
Yeah. So I think the biggest question is, we kind of brought it up, the biggest debate for indexing is this kind of open funnel, which we saw 2 designs of, or was it 3? It was 2 designs of, versus a more like always having contact funnel that Angie showed. Was there another team that had that as well? Or like,
What was that?
oh, I mean like here though.
Oh,
But yeah, I think that's the biggest decision we need to make because we gotta go forward with one of them.
yeah, if we look back to that one weird year where the entire field was that slippery surface.
Lunacy?
Lunacy. Yeah, they had like entire massive chambers, not indexers. And there was like a similar thing to this where you just wanted to pile up as much as possible, not index.
Well, the reason why you would index is just to make sure your shooter can keep getting fed fast, right?
Yeah.
Like, as long as I mean, these guys don't seem to be the type to really get stuck against each other, but as long as we're certain that, like, just having a slight slant or a slight curve would be enough, and they wouldn't get stuck at the bottom of the upper, then, like, yeah. But the reason to put an indexer is because they realize, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I guess I guess that is also my biggest concern. It's kind of like, so I mean, there is a point where we won't have like something actively moving the ball to kind of be up to gravity. But I guess that will come down to if we end up designing it right.
I think one more thing to consider is the fact that the traversal. Because if you can carry double the amount and only make the one traversal, it'll only cost you a little bit longer on the time compared to taking you the entire traversal again to make the same amount of scores. So I think that trade-off is important too. Because it's either twice the driving for the same amount or just a little bit slower on the shooting. And that's what we have to figure out. I think that's the.
How many balls do you suspect that this would fit?
I would say probably close to 15. I would estimate around 15.
And do you think you'd be able to pick all of those up and shoot them? I mean, obviously, realistically, you should be able to pick those all up and shoot them in the 25 seconds that you get, right?
Yeah. Plus, just load in the 25 seconds, make sure that you have all it. Yeah, I haven't even think about the 25 seconds all day, but that would be like having to add a traversal in the 25 seconds.
Because, like, that's my thing, like,
Yeah.
because with mine, like, I think your design's very good, but, like,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the time constraints because you only have those 25 seconds, and like, let's say, you know, you're picking up balls from another side or you're doing something else, like, it could pose an issue, like a time issue, especially when you have like 3 other robots on the field. Which
I think-
we don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. I think that's a plus for the driver station idea too, or the fact that you can use the driver station. Because you can just do a quick load of like whatever is left over there.
How many balls does the driver's?
24.
24.
Yeah.
But then, like,
If
24 and then whatever is pushed in there.
cycle, like if anyone goes to the driver's station to pick up balls in auto, you're already probably gonna just pick them up. Like, I don't know.
There's some in, how many are loaded, or how many are in the last zone already? Like,
I thought there weren't any in the line. Like I
There-
thought most of the balls
there's a
in the
lot.
center of the field.
There's a-
were like
there's-
more on the
Yeah,
edge.
it said like in the middle it feels like 360.
Yeah.
If everyone has their 8 balls already.
like in the alliance zone specifically, isn't there like a set?
It's 24. It's 24.
Yeah, it's just the 24.
So 24 in the lot, and then 24 in the human player.
Oh, okay. So just 24.
I do think traversing, like if there is defense, like
Oh yeah, that's another.
that could be an issue too.
So I think the least amount of traversing,
Yeah, if you have less traversing, might be a good idea.
yeah.
Wait, traversing as in hunting.
What?
Like the
No,
traversing,
no,
As in like traveling through, like group,
Yeah.
uses over back.
That makes more sense.
yeah. And plus, those 25 seconds you can use to defend and load up.
Wait, interesting question.
Yeah.
Have we thought about putting lids on the hopper?
For
For what?
In 2017, you would see balls flying out the top of robots, but also in 2017, those robots picked up by getting dumped into the top of the robot. But if we're going OTB, there really isn't any harm in just putting a lid on it.
Well, unless
Well,
we
but
want to
that's-
go to a player station.
Unless you want to pick a few
I
places.
feel like that could be inconvenient.
If we're going OTB only, then there isn't any harm. I don't know how much, like, robots move pretty fast. I don't know how likely it is that you would lose balls out the top of your hopper, but you could.
That's more substantial than the 2017 ones.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you go and go like a height limit and then like, you know, you can get an extra like radius of the ball height
That's
to
true.
stuff balls in your robot possibly.
If
So
we're
like that
testing
actual
it,
ceiling there.
if we're testing, just like filling a bit and dragging around, seeing if it's flat.
Because if we're like scared of balls popping out, then Angie's idea of having like a there, that's a lot. Like, those balls they can't move.
Yeah, they won't move.
I think another way you could maybe deal with that is like, instead of having a full lid, maybe you just have like it's mostly vertical and then like a little bit of a flange at the top. So
Yeah.
it from like rolling out.
Or maybe a flange inwards.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, I thought you meant, my bad. I thought you
No,
meant
no, no, not out. I feel like outwards would like help
Yeah,
it
no,
roll out.
that sounds good. Also, okay, no.
do like a weird like shape like that to where the balls can't come out but they can come in, like easier.
Also, we're gonna have to be creative on how we make our, if we do go the hopper route, because we don't have any, I mean, we have a 1/4 inch polycarbonate.
Yeah.
But it seems awfully thick for a hopper. We probably make it out of aluminum.
Wait, we're making the hopper out of the wood.
Well, we don't have any other
We
materials.
don't have any polycarbonate?
Well, we don't need a hopper. We just need
But
wall.
I thought the
You
polycarbonate.
can also always use plywood. Nothing wrong with wood, I mean, a lot.
Diego, should we get acrylic? Because I'm, yeah.
Wait,
But we
acrylic
have
is not gonna work.
Do they have like
I don't,
sand?
that's the only other substitute that we
Like-
kind of have, but I think we could do it. We could
Like sand's really
Like, what, I mean, we can find 1/8 inch acrylic, but from where? Does it bound some?
But no, like the MIT, what is it? The
Metropolis.
What are you
They
talking
have
about?
like sand or the-
chocolate sauce is like.
What's the
We
question?
should not use acrylic. Acrylic shatters.
Material for the hopper. Just because in our situation, we
Yeah,
guys
oh,
also
yeah.
think about what we have
I know
to
people
do.
who
I'm just thinking that we don't need a hopper. We just need walls.
Can you just like make like
No,
a
it'll
net?
shatter.
Like we're only having like
Yeah, but like what we use.
it's only
for
gonna
wall.
come down from the driver's station like once.
Like in terms of what we have right now, like aluminum would.
We're talking about like how we're gonna construct the walls of
Yeah.
the storage system.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not the hopper itself, like that's just a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, that doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't, is it really downside? I mean, obviously polycarbonate would be ideal, but it's, if you don't have that, like, I feel like we'd have to make that aluminum.
We were gonna get acrylic.
Wait, we should
No,
not
that's
be
a bad
using
idea.
acrylic. Acrylic will shatter.
That's, I mean, I was kind of saying that, but I think Isaac had a different take on it.
Do we
No,
have
I just,
like sand?
all I know is what, I mean, you can bend it.
I've broken acrylic with my hands.
I've never used it, so I didn't wanna like say yes or no on that.
Right, right.
Don't,
Yeah.
don't.
I wasn't too sure either, so I was like, maybe you have a point.
It's not a substitute.
I think
Wait,
we'll have
guys,
to,
I have a silly idea. Wait, can I like retract the projector?
could it wait a second? I think we saw some groups too. Or like, what is the idea about?
The idea is like, okay, you have like a wall on this side where I imagine the elevator is gonna go. But then on this side, you just have like tube, and then like you make like something out of like string or something easy that we have to keep balls from coming out. And that way you technically increase your capacity a little bit. I guess it could pose some problems with like actually funneling the balls into the shooter though.
Wait, oh yeah, make a hopper out of netting. Wait, that's like technically possible.
It doesn't even need to be that dense because those are large balls.
Well, I do like the net idea.
What?
I like the net idea.
Yeah, because you could like bulge it out.
Yeah, if we like build the frame up just out of like the tubing, then just net it all in.
I think that's all like Robonauts 2017 every bot.
And you like put it
Wait,
one
someone played
inside,
earlier
it would be
the video.
fine.
But they have netting, but it causes problems because there's like
Yeah.
Oh, it also easy to get tangled with, which is annoying.
I guess if it's just like a finer netting, then it's like it depends on how like big the balls are.
Okay.
But that's an easier to obtain thing
Wait.
than Lexan.
Are there other groups that need to go? Are there individuals have designs to share?
Are there any comments on
Oh yeah.
any Twitch comments?
No.
Alright.
Okay. Are they like? Is there anyone else that has something? Oh, did Liam want to show the shooter?
I think he's working on it.
Okay.
It's just like the test.
Wait.
The prototype, right?
Prototype for testing like actual like the wheels and everything.
Okay, so I guess this is where there's no more designs.
Wait, yeah, I get it.
We kind of gotta make a decision for, well, first, like dimensions, like, what were you working with here? Just,
Oh, that was 27 by 27.
27 by 27?
Because
I think we should stay with 27.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can, the belly panel will be a little funny. But
it was
we can-
funny already.
Yeah, that's true. We can make it, hopefully this next belly panel will have like screw holes so you can mount everything electronics wise.
And also about the, would it be possible to not have the bars in the middle of the chassis? Like,
Yeah, can we make the belly pan bigger?
Yeah, is it possible to make the belly pan bigger? Because that's gonna really mess up, I think, both of our plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having those there.
I feel like polycarbonate is like, well, we don't.
Yeah,
But
the
like,
thing
that's
is,
with belly pan.
the thing is, the room we have is 8" right now. I mean, the bar is pretty much infrastructure.
Was
support.
Yeah, it should be okay.
True.
Yeah, depends on like the structure we're gonna build on top.
Because we just don't want the aluminum over there.
I don't think we should really attach directly to the belly pan, right? Most of the structure is probably going to be attached to the side rails, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of provides like structure between the side rails as well.
I've had 8" belly pans before, they were okay.
But like nothing between. It's like,
Well, you could, oh, those bars?
yeah.
Wait,
No, that would be fine. I mean,
What, are you guys gonna attach the structure directly to the side, like rails?
This one was exclusively the side rails. Like nothing really needed the center.
This one could have stuff attached to the bottom, but like,
If you have a thick enough belly, just have it all screwed in.
And where are we gonna put electrical?
we will figure that out.
Yeah.
That's
We could
the-
always do.
On
That's
top.
my,
We could always
Yeah,
do.
put it on the top or side.
like, with the way my idea
The
works,
battery.
Yours has room for it.
ours has like a second level
Oh,
of
right.
room, but extra.
How many?
Guys,
fuels?
upside down, what's your?
I was about to say
Vertical
that.
8.
But if we want like
Probably
a dip
maybe like
to our
10,
robot, then
11.
there's no space for
Give or
it.
take that down. You're just not much less.
Oh wait, that would also be dangerous because of the bone.
Because, yeah, you'll be dragging wax on the floor. Unless you have something else.
Oh wait, we could just like we could set aside some space over here the same way we set space over here, and just do like a side electrical.
wait, the
Yeah.
bottom is slanted in this design, right? You could put some like up toward the front of them.
That's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, that would work.
So are we all feeling good with the 27 by 27 chassis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. We'll lock that in. Sorry, I just want to get that out of the way.
Wait, is there any place enough to make it 27.5? That's actually the max.
27 and a half by 27 and a half is the max, but also like,
But the half wouldn't matter.
Iffy.
That's true,
Makes
but
measurements
like
worse.
plates on the outside, things like that. Okay, yeah, let's do this.
So that'll be next session.
Yeah, I already have like almost something almost done for bed. Yeah. So I guess with deciding between, okay.
Yeah, the indexing and the
Yeah.
index.
Does anyone just like prototype those out, see how it works?
Actually, yeah, we could, like, if you guys are able to get some preliminary, like, maybe seeing how many capacity is like one of the biggest things that was brought up between those two. We have to get those prototypes done quick though, because we need to make a decision on between those two. As for intake, the intake ideas were either like the sliding out,
I was thinking about like 2 bar.
like which one?
Let me, okay, I have some. Oh, I can't.
It's just packaging for a big intake is always tricky.
Yeah.
Like that's why so like a through the bumper would technically be packed, but it might make it harder. Like the widest you can make.
Which one? This one?
That was HDMI.
Struggling a bit. No way, it doesn't connect it.
Okay. Did it like do the valve? When you plugged it in?
No clue.
If not, we can test out with. Here, let me try. I want to see if this.
Right, if you need something to spin at,
Try it one time. I can't see your screen.
Yeah, you have to plug.
like sometimes in the past my TV's curling.
Oh, there we go.
Kind of just a 2-bar idea. Front wheel, star wheel. Because of how dense the ball is, I think some wheels like Colson's and or like Compliant may not work. I haven't tested them out yet, so can see. But I think star wheels could work pretty well. And then just some sort of Compliant wheels in the back. This is where it rotates, so the ball would go under here, and this can go up and down. Just go inside frame perimeter and go out. And that's really it for a 2-bar. Like that's the simplest idea. Is there any questions?
Real quick, everyone had an intake idea. Could you restate where like your intake design was really quick, just so we can all have it fresh in our minds? Yeah.
Kind of like a mix of rollers, but also scooping as many balls in as you can, and a combination of a robot stitch, which is what Bennett also had.
Because if we're already having like a hopper in here, then we can just intake as much as we want.
Yeah, and there's also like the through the bumper approach, which I don't actually think has been discussed very much. But that's easier to package often. And then there's the like extend out sort of
Yeah.
block capacity style. I want to see someone do that too.
I mean, if we extend out, that could work, as long as it's. But the issue would be how low it will have to go,
Yeah,
and what type of
packaging
wheels.
Packaging is going to be a problem for
Yeah.
that, which is one of the reasons why I like to go with it. But
I mean, we can even like not extend out and just have it through the bumper regular. Like the same idea you have like the roller in the bottom, roller top, and
Yeah.
like it'll be the same size as the other funnel ideas.
The issue is just have a grab and go intake, because if we have one that goes through into the bumper like a cutout, then the sides would push other balls away. Like we'll have to be more precise, or have a different intake like design.
Well,
What if we just had an intake shaped like a funnel? Like you just.
Because I know 2020 Jack in the Bot, like they had like a cutout, but their intake design was very unique in order to like have the balls like instead of hitting the bumpers, it hits a roller that rolls it into that cutout. So it's a very interesting design that is kind of complex. That I don't really.
What's the required length of a bumper like from the corner?
5 inches on either side.
5 inches?
The widest you can make would be 17 inches across.
Yeah, so you're cutting down a lot of space.
That's the problem with the 3-wheel bumper is why in front of the 3-wheel bumper, like if you only have a 3-wheel bumper, you'd probably need some kind of like thing to funnel in walls, which is, maybe wrong.
The simplest is just have this run throughout the entire frame, and then, yeah. And it should funnel itself into the hopper. Or whatever mechanism that we have. So.
Okay. So those are the 3 intake ideas. Was there another one, or is that it?
Did we mention the one where it's like, they also feed it back to the human player station?
Like where they pick it up?
Oh,
It pivots and it goes into the human player station.
wait, the human, that's just on the ground, isn't it?
No, they had a slot on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, I wouldn't really go for that. I would rather just have those be shot instead of, that's just extra work.
Right.
Like if we have a consistent enough shooter that we don't need to have intake go into the driver base, like the human player base, and have the human player feed us again, we can just intake and then shoot. Any more? Is there any Twitch questions? Alright.
Isaac, what do you think?
I mean, I think I'm kind of leaning towards the over the bumper intake. Yeah, we talked about like maybe like a funnel idea, like very, very briefly. I guess the only thing like, probably gonna have to make it a little bit at this point, which is kind of like, I went to it for a competition, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, what's the polycarb status? Like, I don't know.
We went to every dorm and it's just not there, so, what we can do is we can get polycarb one day if we really need it, but like, this isn't the only part that we need polycarb for, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know if any shops have this material, or like Lexan, anything?
I mean, if it really comes down to it, we can use plywood.
That's true.
It's not like
Yeah.
we're gonna be running into a wall or flying off the ramp anymore.
We can just like laser cut it, yeah.
I guess my question is, how is this different from like the funneling mechanism that, we talked about earlier with like Mackin wheels? Like, cause wasn't that also an over the bumper intake?
What mechanism wheels?
They had like a driver wheel in the center, and they had Mackin wheels that would like funnel in towards the center.
Are you saying like if there's like a cutout, or? I mean like because like we already have a wide bumper, well like a wide hopper from like previous. Unless we want to go with like Angie's idea where it only feeds in through one way, then we'll need mechanism wheels on the side to push those through. I just have star wheels or whatever compliant wheels that can work currently. Because this should pick the fuel up and then move through this area.
So this is different from Angie's, just in that this.
Oh, and well, they didn't have a intake. It was just like the conveyor idea on the inside, like the indexer idea.
Okay.
We did receive a question. Are we excited for this year's field? Do we think it'll be easier or harder to navigate than earlier years? and do we have it set up?
We do not have it set up.
It's being seen.
It'll be way harder to navigate, I would say. There's a lot more obstacles, and I think with the amount of defense that's going to happen, yes, it'll be much harder to shoot, navigate around. Maybe that's why turrets might be a good thing, teams.
I don't know, we're kind of in a weird situation. We need to figure out an intake design.
Yeah.
But it's like really hard to go off. Perhaps this is something we should start prototyping as well.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, I mean, this is something we do definitely a prototype. Same thing with the hopper. and then shooter compression being prototype. So the teams that want to pursue that, like, we start prototyping. Are there any other questions for these groups? All right. And then any other last minute ideas or presentations?
And it's just throwing it out there. You mentioned the problem with the climber and the bumper having the hooks reach the bars. Would it at all be possible to have the intake like retract so we wouldn't break the rule of extending out two places at once? So we could open up the possibility of reaching out with the hooks to grab the bars, or is that?
Can we not extend out 2 places?
No.
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 I was wanting to know what you guys thought about that.
Oh, Bennett, was your idea to just have it down all the time?
I mean, it could go up and down. Like,
Okay.
I think ideally, if we, like the hopper idea, the thing is that the intake side will be open, so you wouldn't need to close the intake side to have a intake go up to close like the hopper space. But if you want Andrew's idea where it's not there, then the intake doesn't have to go down. But if the climber does get outside the flanker, then that is kind of an issue. Let me look into it.
Because I think as is, we can't reach the bars without extending past the flanker.
Yeah.
How are we, I wasn't here for some of this. How are we thinking about dealing with that problem?
That's a great question.
Because I think something that might be possible is, I feel like I don't think we have servos. But one way you could deal with that is like have a servo, actually have both sets of hooks sprung, and then like have a servo like moving on all the way in at the end of the match, and then it ends at those, and then all that's fine.
The thing is, like, the things are going to have to come out at the beginning and end of the match. We're climbing for both.
This
For
is
auto and ending.
So then we would need something to, I feel like, I don't think that would be too hard to have like a winch inside.
Yeah, like, whatever we do, it has to be reset for telecom.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could do like a winch type situation inside the elevator carriage.
Yeah.
Okay. I also, as we prototype, I'm gonna add the, what's it called, the drive base to the main on shape, and then if we could start a master sketch there, so we can all see how much space each subsystem is taking. With the elevator, it is gonna be a little weird because it might be off to the side. But how many of you guys know how to use Crayon CAD? Just wondering, on shape. Okay, that might not be the greatest. Oh, 4? Okay. Wait, is that everyone? Is there a sub team that doesn't know how to
I think
elevator?
when I did my thing, I did Crayon CAD.
Yeah,
It's really
but
fast.
yeah, but if they don't, like, experience. If we can also start with the Crayon CAD of your subsystems, or maybe just put like a box of how much space your subsystem is going to take, and then master sketch as well. That would be really helpful, so we can start getting a better sense. But we should start prototyping as soon as possible. We can do that till like 9. Sounds good. And then at 9 we'll have that meeting, and then we'll actually surprisingly be on schedule somehow. So yeah, sound good? All right.